Hello and welcome to Carbitrage Podcast, episode 89. I'm Erik Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinitsky. Hello.
Hello there, that's me.
Oh, it's nice to be back in the regular swing of things. Not that I didn't thoroughly enjoy our LAN party last Saturday after the podcast, but it feels good.
Yes, it does. I know exactly what you mean. You know, I actually, so Spaz suggested a video game to me.
Okay.
It was called Automation.
Oh, Corey suggested that one to me as well.
It's so good.
Well, what is it?
So, it's one of those European simulator games where it's just, like, way too nerdy.
Is it actually European? I thought that was based in Utah.
I don't know, maybe.
Okay, whatever.
It's, you know, on the lines of, like, farming simulator.
For sure.
Or,
Yeah,
train conductor or, like, stewardess
I
simulator or
own
whatever.
a Euro Truck Simulator.
One of the best driving games, actually.
It actually is pretty good.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
So, anyway, the game is totally awesome, 100% worth, investing in. And what you do is, you are in this fictitious continent. There's 5 different countries.
Okay.
And you need to market cars to the countries. So you starts out in 1946, so you don't have to worry about any pre-war stuff. I was a little bummed out when I saw that, but
That makes me happy though.
But you design everything from, like, the design of the car, the suspension layout, the interior, and the engine itself. The engine building is
Well, how much
super
detail
in-depth.
does it let you go into?
Well, with the engine, you can choose inline, 68-degree, 90-degree V, boxer,
Nice. Okay.
between 3 and 12
What
cylinders.
about a rotary?
Not yet, but it's also in open beta. So it's like the game's not the game's not done.
If it's that sophisticated and it's not even into alpha yet, that's pretty good.
It's
Okay.
yeah, it's definitely within open beta still, but
Okay.
the
Or early access, whatever they call it.
it's not even in early access yet.
Oh, I
Like,
see.
I think it's like sold as early access, but it's definitely not at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But with the game, it's the thing that I think they have to work on the most is the interior stuff is really basic. They really have
Okay.
to, like, redo that because, like, you can't even see into the inside of your car.
Oh, that's kind
So
of lame.
that's kind of lame, but it's like whatever. The cool thing though is that you can take your cars and you can export them to Beaming Drive.
The what?
Beam.ng Drive. It's a physics-based driving simulator.
Oh, okay.
With, like,
I guess I wasn't even aware of that.
oh my god, it's such a cool game because
Okay.
it's
I'll take your word for it. I just
yeah, it's a entirely physics-based driving game. So like when you crash your car, like the car crumples like it actually would. So
Oh, does it do mechanical damage too?
oh yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So if you money shift it, it'll throw a rod out
Yeah,
of it
actually,
and stuff?
yeah,
Oh, pretty cool.
So it's really cool, but it's cool to see your actual creations, to be able to drive them around in a game.
Yeah, that's
and,
neat.
Like crash them into a wall or launch them off a cliff in Utah or something.
I might have to download this.
Yeah, they're both worth it. Like Beaming Drive alone is a great game.
How much
Automation
is BeamNG?
I think it's only like $20 or something.
I know automation's 30.
All in, you're at like 45, maybe $50.
That's not terrible if you have enough fun with it.
You will.
Okay.
I guarantee it. Because the thing is, you don't have to do like you can just do sandbox. So if you don't want to do the full like giant campaign thing, and actually have to like market the cars.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
screw that. I would only sandbox.
No, if you want to make like a D Tomaso Pantera with a 6-liter 3-cylinder with like a huge turbo on it, you can.
That I kind of want to do that now.
I know. I was almost late today because
Smallest engine of the biggest car, biggest engine of the
Yep,
smallest car.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's the first thing I do.
Yeah. Well, I was actually in the process of making a car that was kind of like Datsun like 411.
Okay.
Which is like the predecessor to the 510.
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
And so I was designing like a eco engine to sell to like I'm trying to make a car enthusiast car for budget-minded people.
Okay.
So I was making like a little 3-cylinder engine. It makes like 60 horsepower, but the car weighs 2,000 pounds. It's
Sure.
it's 19.
It's like a Mirage.
Yeah, it's 1956 in the game. Like that's gonna be really skookum.
Yeah,
at
it's
that
going to be
point.
fast.
Yeah,
That's like 10 seconds 0 to 60. So,
Yeah, and it gets like 40 miles per gallon, so it's like perfect.
yeah.
So I'm also trying to make it like cheap and everything, but I'm having to like take all these things into effect. And at the same time, I also worked on this car that was a inline 6 supercar, made like 400 horsepower. Like,
Also from the same period in time.
yeah, because it's 1956 in the campaign, so I'm like actually making all these like cool things, and then you can also design like the actual exterior of the car, so you can either make the car look like just disgusting or actually really cool.
Does
And
it
I've
change how it sells?
No, not yet. I think
Okay.
they will probably update that.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's gonna be a really, really awesome game once
That's cool.
I mean, even now it's great. Like they could honestly release it right now and probably get like a 7 out of 10 by most critics. And they are nowhere near done in having it ready for release. So that's gonna be super cool.
I have mixed feelings on game developers releasing stuff that isn't quite ready for the limelight. Because like I'm excited that I can play the functional thing,
Yeah.
but like at the same time, you know, having all the
I
bugs
think
worked out.
It's one thing if it's a AAA. Like if EA did this,
right.
like
Well, it'd be garbage.
yeah, well it would be, and everything would be pay to win. But
Yeah. Is there
since-
DLC in this game?
No, actually, there might be. Like it's just one thing though. Like it's like one massive update that they'd like totally rewrite like a whole bunch of stuff to do.
It's like a new game.
Yeah, basically. I think like for like they added a 16 cylinder for every engine option.
Okay.
But the thing is like it's a small developer. It's literally like their lead programmer slipped on the ice and gave himself a concussion.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, kind of like me. And so they actually had to like slow down their updates because like there's like 5 people working there. So
Well, I guess that's understandable.
yeah, but I mean like so that's the size of this company. The fact that they're releasing it as early access right now. I'm really not too bothered by that because it is a small company.
Right.
And yeah, they need to make money to like sustain making the game. And I will totally take an early access game if that means that I end up getting a better game in 3 or 4
Oh, for
years.
sure. And I do like. I mean, it keeps it fresh too for a lot longer because
Yeah.
it's like getting in-game updates that actually matter.
Yeah, no, it's like if you ever played Ark Survival Evolved, it's just it's like Minecraft with dinosaurs.
I haven't played Minecraft either.
Oh, it's like Minecraft with dinosaurs. Like you build.
All I
this,
know
like,
is you punch trees. I learned
Yeah.
that from South Park.
tree punching.
That sounds like a fetish or something.
I know, right? But no,
Oof.
it's like Ark. Like Ark Survival Evolved started out as this basic game, and now it's actually 5 years later released into this actually really one of the best survival games that you can play. Not really my genre of choice, but still, it's kind of cool to have that.
Right.
But yeah, so that's kind of what I was really excited about over the week, and yeah, that was a really awesome LAN party because I found out about that game.
Is that LAN capable? Can you like?
Automation's not because it's a simulation. It's a single player game.
Right.
However, I think Beaming Drive might. I feel like there's a multiplayer tab I've never even thought about clicking on.
Well, we'll have to look into that for the next one.
Yeah, I will have to double check on that. Now, what are you drinking?
I am drinking one of my Warsteiner Oktoberfest. This is the last case of this beer that I have, and I brought it down
I'm
here.
drinking one too.
Fabulous. It's pretty good. It's no longer October, but I just don't care.
Warsteiner does a great job on beer.
Actually, Oktoberfest is in September, is it not?
I don't know, man. I'm Jewish.
Oh, right. Yeah, that whole Germany thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a gray area.
Now, I want to get on to what our first actual topic will be.
Okay, I'm going to eat a Girl Scout cookie while you present this.
Now, I was talking to my coworker, Keith, and he's a listener occasionally when he sits next to me and I'm listening and reviewing how he sounds and taking notes. And he actually came up in conversation. He has a friend who just crashed his 325iX E30.
Good.
Well,
Does he want to let me buy it?
I think insurance is going to take it because he was a boob and he had State Farm.
Buyback, though.
Yeah, it's true. But he, anyway, so he found out, or he wanted that because he needed something that was like a cheap classic that he could kind of daily drive and not feel any shame about.
Mm-hmm.
He can drive, like, if he needs to drive it in winter, he can. It's not like he's doing anything, that's just terrible, like driving an E30 M3 in winter, or like even just a normal E30.
Yeah, regular, good
Yeah,
E30.
because I mean, like the thing is, like a 325iX at the end of the day on the pecking order of cars that exist is still pretty high up there. Like it's legitimately better than say like a Pulsar NX or something, which is a cool car, but it's not that bad of a car. It's just relative to the other cars that are on that platform, it's definitely the worst. Anyway, this gentleman and his wife, Keith's friend, they make $200,000 combined per year. So upper middle class.
Sure.
They live in Minneapolis. They have a 2-car garage.
Though that's not enough.
I know, but they do not plan on moving.
Okay.
They just can't because they own the house and everything, so they're in there. He needs a classic car that he can daily, mostly in summer, potentially all year, depending on how things work out. And they already own one other car, so if need be, he can hitch a ride, which is kind of what he's been doing, and he kind of lives on their wife's route to work.
Okay.
What does he buy? So it has to be a classic, dailyable, not too insane, and, you know, including expenses, they make $200,000 a year, so I'd say probably, what would that be, like a $50,000 budget?
Well, it
Maybe.
depends on how
That's
close
like
they want to
the
live to
real
their
high side.
means, yeah.
Yeah.
I would
I'm not
say-
sure what their debt to income is.
But I would say let's limit it to like 35 or 40.
35. Well, let's say $35,000.
Okay. I'm thinking, I mean, that's kind of a tough one. I mean, obviously just getting a fun car that's reliable enough to use in the
Yeah.
summer, easy. But something that you would be able to drive once or twice in the winter and not have it rust out immediately.
And then, you know, the other thing is, you know, potentially it might appreciate in value.
Well, that's kind of, I don't usually buy cars unless they're going to appreciate, with the exception of daily drivers.
Even then, I try to get something weird that, like, will potentially appreciate and isn't really sought after.
I used to, I guess, but now I don't know. I accept that depreciation, especially because I can deduct it on my taxes now. It's whatever.
That's very true.
Well, okay. As much as I hate like looking for something that's all-wheel drive, maybe I'm trying to think of stuff that's maybe turn of the 1990s. Oh, I got it. Celica All-Track.
You know, I was actually thinking the FJ60 Land Cruiser.
Yeah, those rust pretty quick.
Oh, that's true. I mean, I guess you can get one that's like, you could try undercoating it. See what you can
You
do.
got to get that True Coat. They
Yeah,
apply
get the
that at
True
the
Coat.
factory.
But, yeah, that Celica All-Track would be a really, really good option, actually, because that's a car where it's all-wheel drive and legitimately makes it better. It's not like all-wheel drive on the 325iX where it actually makes it significantly worse.
Right.
But yeah, no, that'd be a really good car. You know, I would, if it wasn't a FJ60 Land Cruiser, depending on how avant-garde this guy is, I might say a V6 5-speed V20 Camry wagon.
They're too cool to risk that with, though.
That is true. It's so rare, and it's one of those cars where it's rare, and it's at that point where it's at that level of rare where it likely will not appreciate in value.
Right.
If he's somebody that's a little bit more open to tinkering with it, perhaps a Cressida wagon.
They made those here?
Yep. Not my generation. The generation before mine. They made Cresta wagons.
I don't know if I've seen the gen before yours even on the road in this country before.
Oh, the MX-73? I'm sure you have. But yeah, why don't you Google MX-73 wagon?
So I'm trying to get the frame rates fixed on the cameras.
Oh yeah, holy crap, these are awful.
Well, what I did, we've had the table cam set on a really low output for a while.
Yeah.
Because for whatever reason this computer can't handle 3 cameras with the good frame rate. But I figured if I took ours down a little bit, I could get the table cam to go up to 30 frames a second. Oops, that's not what I want. Sorry, what do you want on screen? I can maybe do that while I'm doing this.
Let's look at the MX-73 wagon. That's the Cresta wagon.
All right, let me go to...
While you're doing that, I'm going to eat my cookie.
Sounds good. I'm looking for one that isn't modified. Good luck to me. Oh, for Pete's sake, this one's pretty close.
That one's pretty clean. So,
Speed Hunters.
that's a website worth visiting. It's a nice Civic.
Where is this damn Cressida?
I don't know, but that's a really cute Daihatsu.
Of course, that's not even labeled. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? This is a garbage website.
I love that website.
It's a garbage website.
Why?
The content's
There it
good.
is.
What's it?
Oh, it's because
look.
they call it the X70 Mark II. It's technically Japanese. That's what it's called in Japan. But that would be another good car. The only thing is you would have to do a manual swap.
They weren't sold as manual?
No, but it's based off of Supra. Everything bolts up. You need a manual transmission. Actually, Excessive Motorsports makes a yellow zinc plated clutch pedal that just bolts onto the end of the standard pedal box.
There's enough meat there for it to do that?
Yeah, they have all the provisions and everything. It's never sold them in America with the manual, and they didn't bother redesigning the firewall or anything. So it's literally...
That was nice of them.
Step 1, put in W58 manual transmission out of any rear-wheel drive Toyota that's not turboed. It will be extremely cheap. You can get the best one in the world for like $500. So
That's fair.
get that $120 excessive motorsports clutch pedal. Go find yourself a either a Supra or a IS300 master cylinder for the clutch.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like,
Yeah.
IS300.
Yeah, the same thing.
Okay.
They use W58s as well.
That's incredible.
And then it happens to be the right angle. You could use a Celica one, but it pushes it up against the strut tower a little bit too much, so you might get some weird rubbing depending on...
Well, a lot of the Toyota, those are, I mean, they're just bulkhead mounts and they're separate units, right?
Yeah, they
So,
are.
like, you could use one out of an MRT Spider, probably.
Yep, yeah, you could. And then you just got to run... Even Excessive Motorsports, they sell a, like, steel-braided line with the correct fittings. It's the exact same length and everything.
I assume it's pretty easy to trick the car to start.
You don't even have to do anything. Because it's from, like, 1983, and you could just, like, start it when it's in first gear.
Yeah, I assume that's rear-wheel drive.
Yeah,
Has
it
to
is.
be.
It's
Perfect.
rear-wheel drive.
Are they
inline-
5Ms?
5M, yep, 5M GE. If you really want to get wild without going into like 2JZ stuff, you can get a 6M out of a Chaser, which is a full 3-liter version of it.
Okay.
So get yourself a little bit extra power there.
Yeah, those are cool. I mean, I do like your camera suggestion. I just would worry about... And they do last pretty well, but I mean, if you're doing more than a couple of trips a year in the winter, that car is not going to last.
You know, I think the thing is with the Camry, I mean, the Camry wagon is actually more rare than the Cressida because it just has a lower survival rate.
Right.
I think if you found a Cresta wagon, like you're going to have a lot of fun. You can carry the family.
And you get a straight 6.
You get an inline 6.
You get rear-wheel drive.
Rear-wheel drive. And
That's
everything.
huge,
Like,
yeah.
why would you not want that?
And I bet you could buy one that's already been manual swapped well in budget.
Oh, yeah, if their budget was $10,000, they could get this car.
Right.
They're
and that's
so cheap.
We probably should set the budget way lower because I mean you can get a really nice Celica All-Track for $10,000 too.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And, you know, really all the cars we said. And I think, you know, with that $40,000 budget, you know, you could also do all your rust proofing and stuff for being able to actually drive it. You could do your, you know, brake upgrades or anything that you really want. If you want a little bit more power, I mean, you could, you know, if I had $40,000 and an MX-73, I'd have just the sickest wagon I've ever seen. It'd be, like a 2JZ, 1.5 JZ. It says a 2JZ with a 1JZ.
1J head, yep.
Yeah. A 1.5 JZ, a CD 006, 6-speed out of a 350Z, limited slipper differential. I would get some like Hoshino Racing Impal wheels. I get that lip kit on it.
You definitely haven't thought about this, have you?
I use the JDM bumpers and everything. I get like a green velvet interior. Like I would totally build the car on a $40,000 budget. Totally. So, yeah, that's the thing. I think the correct answer would actually be a Cressida wagon.
All right. Well, I think we have 2 answers then. I mean, I would still take a Celica All-Track over that.
But it's going to be a classic Toyota, an 80s era Toyota.
I'm thinking the bubble one, the 90.
Oh, the 90s one? So early 90s.
91 or
yeah,
whatever.
because
3S GTE.
Yeah, so I'd say a Land Cruiser, a Celica All-Track, or a Cressida wagon. All 3 of those are great cars. They're all Toyotas, so your insurance isn't going to kill you. That's great.
And yeah, I mean, the later you go, the more rust proofing. So
I think your Celica All-Track, if you want something that's sporty, you know what? If you want something sporty and fun, Celica All-Track. If you want something that he can drive anywhere and have a blast in for a totally different reason, like go off-roading, the Land Cruiser. If you want something that's fun, avant-garde, the Cressida.
yeah, I feel really bad not recommending an 80s Mercedes, like a 300E 5-speed, but it's not as good.
No, it's not. That's a car you get as an investment and not to drive to have fun.
Or like a 190E 2.6 5-speed. That would be a good one too, because they actually are those are all the cladded cars, and those
would be really
those
cool.
don't rust out. And that M103,
That would be. Excuse me.
Or-
that would be a very cool car.
a 1990. Wait, was it 90 or 91? There was 1 year of the SL, like my dad's downstairs,
Yeah.
where they offered the 24-valve 6-cylinder and a manual in that
I
SL.
think it's a 91 actually.
And you could get that well in budget too. So if they want something with a convertible top,
well,
bam.
didn't they have the manual that went on till like 93?
No.
When did the manual?
89 to I think 91.
Okay, yeah, so
only a couple of years.
Okay, yeah.
And it was only in 3-liter engines, but the M103 to the M104 changeover, there was like 1 year where it was still mechanically injected, and it's still 3 liters instead of 3.2.
That's perfect.
And that was that. So
yeah,
I don't know what year
the
that
way to
was,
do
but again, it depends on what they want. I mean, if they're planning on taking on road trips, get a Cressida.
Yep.
If they're planning to just bum around town and have a little fun, get an all track.
If you want to go out to like the Badlands or something, get the Land Cruiser.
And if you want something at the top that goes down, get the SL.
Yeah, there you go.
Bam.
Yeah.
That's solved.
Or if you want 4 doors, so you don't have much space, the 190.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Depending on how big your garage is.
And I think you could even get a 190E 2.6 Sport Line with the manual.
Ooh, that'd be cool with that awesome interior.
Yeah, it's the Cosworth interior, but they upholstered the center sections of the seats in the Sportline colors. So you had like a yellow driver's seat, a red passenger seat,
that'd be so
a
cool.
blue driver rear. It was pretty intense. But I should actually look into Sportlines.
We should get Chris Butters onto the podcast.
No, he fucked me over on his car.
Oh, you're just salty about that because he keeps.
Dude, I got there with the money at the agreed time, and he vanished.
He got cold feet. He really loves that car.
Yeah, then he should have said something.
That's true.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so so there you go, Keith. You can tell your buddy that. Have him listen to our podcast. Don't tell him. Just have him listen to the podcast.
Perfect. Yeah.
And also have him subscribe to Patreon.
Boom. Yeah, you're welcome for figuring out your car issue, Keith's friend.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I want to talk about something that's gonna shock you. It's a crossover.
Yeah.
It's an electric car, too.
The Model Y?
Yeah, the Model Y has just been announced. It was actually a couple days ago, but...
I'm really happy for Tesla. I understand why they made it.
Congrats on finally unveiling your volume model. I don't want one. But I have to say, the price point per base range is better than I anticipated. The base price is about $42,000 for a 280-mile range.
That's not bad. You know what the car looks like? It looks like a BMW 5 Series GT, that like weird wagony sort of thing.
Yeah, it looks
with
like
the front end of a Ford like Focus.
I was gonna say a Play School version of a 5 GT.
Yeah, a 5 GT.
Power wheels.
5 GT with a Focus front end.
There you go.
Yep.
Or like everything in the Tesla design group, it's just been pumped up with an air pump.
Another thing about that game, automation. It makes me appreciate cars like this. Because I'm making like all these like super cool like just insane powered 6-cylinders. It's because I got a god-awful, disgusting-looking swing axle, like 4-cylinder, 80 horsepower, 3,000-pound sedan.
Right.
It's just my budget car. It just.
Are you just going into automation and creating like a normal thing, like not doing what everyone else does with video games?
Yeah, because I'm actually playing the campaign. I need to make money until I can make my like cool cars. So I made a normal car.
Oh man.
So I totally understand why they do this. Like it makes sense. And I think it's a cool thing with that game is it makes you appreciate like the stupid cars that like you're like, why does this exist? Why does the Dodge Intrepid exist? And then you're just like, oh, because they need a car that just moves numbers. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
The rental fleets need something.
And the beauty is how shitty can I make it before people notice?
They figured that one out.
Yeah, and that's exactly.
Chrysler figured that out in the 90s.
That's exactly what I did with this car. I'm just like, that is just garbage.
Where's the base? There we go. Standard range. There it is. 230-mile range. 18 or 19-inch wheels. 5.9 seconds to 60.
And you know what the best part?
What?
Rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, they do offer a base rear-wheel drive, which they don't do in the X.
So what I like about that is the fact that it's rear-wheel drive, not front, because this could totally have been a front-wheel drive, and probably would have sold better. But you know what?
I don't think so. Tesla has never done a front-wheel drive.
But no, the thing is because Karen.
Damn it, Karen!
Between driving from manager to manager, she has a front-wheel drive crossover. You know that. Because
it's an Equinox.
She heard that front wheel drive is better than rear wheel drive. She doesn't know why, and she doesn't want to spend the extra $2,000 for all wheel drive.
Safer.
Actually, I had a customer at work that was like, they had just bought T1, and
yikes.
They're like, I almost bought the front wheel drive, and then we decided to spring for the extra $5,000 for the 4Motion, And I'm like, this is the best decision you made ever. He goes, why? I'm like, well, first off, front-wheel drive on a crossover is terrible. But second off, you would lose your shirt in value if it was front-wheel drive. And I showed him, like, the difference. I'm like, front-wheel drive Tiguan, $7,000.
Mm-hmm.
All-wheel drive Tiguan, 11. Like, for, like, the same year. And he's like, wow. I'm like, yeah,
It's like
good
the elements
decision.
too. I mean, you can get like a running driving manual front wheel drive element for like $1,500.
Yeah, nobody wants it. It sucks.
No, they're actually pretty good.
Well, no, at that point, you just go get yourself literally any other Honda product with a K-Series engine.
They're all going to be way more expensive though, and less practical.
But still, it sucks.
That's fine. But I mean, the all-wheel drive one is like it kicks in after you need it. So like, what's the point?
Well, it's all-wheel drive.
The real-time all-wheel drive system that Honda has is not great.
Yeah.
It's good for putting into Civics and making quarter-mile passes.
Well, and when you do that, you're not using the transfer case from the Honda. You're using like a Range Rover or something transfer case, or not Range Rover.
I think it's a Freelander.
A Freelander transfer case.
Yep, and then you're using a Wago van rear end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to cobble some stuff together, as one does with Hondas. So now, about this, I'm fine with it. Whatever. I mean, it works. It's not exciting. It could have been way worse. I really appreciate that they stuck to the principle of keeping things rear-wheel drive, if at all possible.
Yeah. And
So-
again, I mean, it one-ups the Model X in the fact that you can get a rear-wheel drive one, which is great. I can't think of another crossover right now. Like the first-gen SRX was like the last thing I could think of that was rear-wheel drive and a crossover.
Yeah, I think so. And I think this is like as far as crossovers go, it looks fine. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, this will give them money to make other cool stuff.
and I have a strong suspicion
Mm-hmm.
Tesla probably used the same struts as they did in the Model
3.
X or the Model 3.
This whole thing is a Model 3.
Yeah, so you can
Same
probably
ride
you can
heights and
probably
everything.
you can probably get the you can probably lower it or something and
Mhm.
it'll look a lot better.
Yeah, and I assume you can get air suspension in it too. So.
Yeah, and it doesn't not have air suspension.
No, most of them don't.
Okay, cool, even better.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's a crossover, but
It's a
the,
hatchback, which is good.
the most important thing is to me is you have coil springs
Mm-hmm.
that fit multiple different cars. It is rear-wheel drive, and there's going to be an overpowered version of it. So
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
They already have the performance one list. I think it's like 3.5 seconds to 60.
What's the
Or
performance
62.
one like?
That's this.
Oh, it's this one. Oh,
Yep.
okay, this is it. So 3.5 seconds to 60, which is cool.
Yeah, the base car is, I think I said 5.6, and then it goes 5.5 for the long range rear wheel drive, then it goes 4.8 for the long range all wheel drive, and then it goes 3.5 for performance.
Can I get the can I get the one that's got the big honking engine or motor, and just get it rear wheel drive so it's a big burnout monster like a P100 or like the P85?
Not officially, but it probably does have track mode, or there's a dyno mode, I think, that will shut off the front motor.
Yeah, I feel like it's Tesla, and they're just trying to make as much money as possible. I'm pretty sure you'd do like a COPO, like central office production order sort of thing, and say like, I want the P100 engine in just a two-wheel drive, and they'll be like, whatever, okay. This is stupid, but sure.
Scott was saying that the first gen X1 was offered in rear wheel drive, and yes, it was, but that is barely a crossover. That's just a lifted E90. Although, I guess in this case, that is a pretty good example.
Yeah, that's a good point. So
Yeah, those were offered, I think, with the 3-liter NA straight 6 and the turbo N55 straight 6 with rear wheel drive.
those are two
And
good
manuals.
options.
Yeah,
Those are
the
very good
first gen
options,
X1's
yeah.
actually a pretty interesting proposition.
Then they lost it all. Like
Oh my, look at the second and third gen X1s.
it's like the Acura RDX.
Yeah, what the hell happened to that
It
thing?
went from being literally the coolest crossover to terrible, just god awful. 'Cause
Well, look at any modern Honda SUV offering.
well, that's true, but I mean, like particularly the RDX. The RDX had the 2.3 the K23, and that engine was the only turbocharged K series, and actually was a very commonly used engine for getting fuel injectors and stuff for people doing K series builds.
Right.
Because then you wouldn't have to do any weird modifications or anything. You just have a larger fuel injector that works perfectly with the K20. So
Yeah, I still would love to use a K23T in something, but probably just doesn't make sense.
yeah, I really want to as well, but I mean the K23. The big thing about that is the fact that you have the K23 injectors, which are the highest flowing factory Honda injectors you can get. Well, yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I'm not. I was waiting to be here to to look at the Model Y, and
Well,
I was fully expecting the worst, and I actually did not get the worst.
The most confusing thing to me is like during the release or whatever, they had these things around. You could drive them around or whatever. It's still going to be more than a year and a half before the first delivery happens on this.
Are they federalized
Why?
and everything?
Why?
or-
I have no idea.
They're
but
probably federalizing it.
I guess
That
that's
takes
just-
a long time. Like most of your wait on getting a car is federalizing.
But when there's that much similarity between the Model 3, which is federalized, and this product,
Doesn't
it
ma-
speeds it up quite a bit.
it really doesn't matter because you still have to do all the crash testing. And then you still have to work out all the weird little bugs. Like there's a bunch of stuff that goes into that. Anyway, now I think we should move on because I've got a hilarious story that I found from Kotaku actually. Carlos Ghosen is now out of jail.
Is he already?
Well, he paid bail.
Oh, of course he did.
Yes.
Scott asked me to pull this up. I don't know why.
The Ford Aspire with a license plate says Demon.
Article says it should have had a squared back end. Oh, like the Aspire? Well,
Oh, I get it. Yeah,
everything with
and
the square back end is
yeah,
much more.
that would be a lot better. Yeah.
It says nope, newer article. I don't know. I googled it and that was the top hit.
Anyway,
Feel free to shoot me a link in the chat. I'll put
hey,
it up here.
fun fact about the Ford Aspire:
Mm-hmm.
if you have a Ford Festiva and you're trying to take it out autocrossing or something,
Yeah.
Ford Aspire brakes bolt directly on.
Really?
They're significantly bigger.
Well, yeah, it's a much heavier car, so it makes sense that they would be bigger.
The more you know.
G.I. Joe.
Exactly. Anyway, so I would like to move on to the next article here.
Oh, it's gonna send it to me here. Hold
And he's gonna send it over to us.
on. It doesn't have Aspire written anywhere in it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Of course it doesn't have. There, I fixed the Tesla Model Y for you. Jalopnik.
All right. Oh, weird.
Yeah, it does look a lot better, actually.
Uh,
I thought about that, too.
I don't. I mean, it looks like a Pacifica on the back, or
Well-
maybe kind of like an Avantime.
I think this is also a rendering that this guy did in about 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, because
So,
look how terrible the rendering is.
yeah,
That's
but
just MS Paint.
that could look potentially quite cool.
Before, after. Yeah, no, I mean it does look better. I'm not really a fan of when they slope it down because yeah, you get a lot of room in it, but you really can't put like a dresser or anything in it.
Oh no, it's worthless. That at that point has the same amount of cargo space as a sedan.
I mean that's the difference between
Actually,
my
no.
car
I
and Mr. Wags.
like it. You know why?
Why?
These people are being fooled into buying a sedan.
Yeah,
They are like they're
Kinda.
like, I want a wagon to put things in, and then they get their wagon to put things. It's like it's just as big as a sedan. Like yeah, you got more cargo space, but it's in like the weirdest shape you could possibly fathom. Like
I do like that everything that they've made so far, except for like the first gen Roadster, is a 4-door.
yeah, I
That's pretty great.
appreciate that. I would love for them to make a stupid coupe. Because I like stupid
Please call it a
coupes.
stupid coupe. I drive a Tesla stupid coupe.
I think stupid coupes are where it's at. Like a car that it should be a sedan and just has two big ass doors. I love that. Like
That's so 50s.
like Jana's Accord is like that. Like I think the best version of the CB7 Accord looks like that. The Camry coupe is like my favorite Camry. Just cars have no business being a coupe, just being a coupe. Like,
The second gen Camry coupe is fascinating.
I love that car. The Toyota Crown, which is the Lexus LS, back in the 60s, they made a coupe. Can you bring it up? It's called a Kujira Crown Coupe.
Why does everything you ask me to Google have to be in some other language?
I like Japanese cars. At least it's Japanese or it's phonetic. It could be Polish. Kujira.
That's not phonetic at all.
Kujira.
I would have spelled it with a C.
Well, everything in Japanese starts with a
Yeah,
K.
well, I don't care. I speak America.
Anyway, that car looks quite cool.
And everything is hilariously modified.
I know they're always modified. I think that looks really cool. What the heck is that?
Stupid Kijiji, or whatever this is. Bukalakapak.
Bukalaka pack. Scroll down. I'm sure you'll find a good one.
I hate image search. It used to be so good. It would literally just take you to the damn image.
Yeah.
Now it gives you to the site, and the site
You can
never
still
has
right-click the image.
Sometimes. I think you can on Bing. Anyway, whatever. There you go. Close
Yep.
enough.
So, Goodyear Crown Coupes. That's not our car. No business being a coupe because that's supposed to be a Lexus LS. But they made a coupe. They gave it a special roofline and everything. And I think it looks amazing.
Fair enough.
There is that. Now, anyway, on to my article.
Yes.
Carlos Ghosen's out of jail now.
Yes.
He paid his his $7 million, some ridiculous bail he paid. And when he was escorted out of jail, to save him the embarrassment of pictures of him being escorted by the police, they dressed him up as a police officer.
Oh, jeez.
And so if you scroll down, you'll see the original photo here. So that's the original photo.
Okay.
You can obviously tell which one's Carlos Ghosn. The short, kind of pudgy South American guy, with all the other guys that are not wearing yellow safety belts on.
Right.
So now in Osaka, there's a Comic-Con, and a bunch of people cosplayed as Carlos Ghosn.
That's pretty great.
In his safety gear.
Oh, my God. At least Japanese have a sense of humor.
In his attempt to not be photographed, he has now made himself into a meme.
Okay, well, it's better to be a meme than to be wherever he was before, basically.
My favorite part is Carlos Ghosn takes himself too seriously, and now he's the laughing stock of the world, and it's probably bothering him so much.
Good.
I'm very into it.
Good. Very fine.
That's all I needed to mention. I also like how they're posing with a photo of Carlos Ghosn too.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I'm just so distracted by the smiley face in the upper left corner. I'm just like, okay.
When Japanese people are funny, they're hilarious.
Yeah.
Like when Japanese people want to be funny, you get MXC, you get this, you get the funniest things. And then
all right. I mean, great. Okay.
It's all about context.
I still can't believe he's out of jail that soon.
Well, no, he's not out. He's on bail.
Oh.
Yeah, so he's still getting his
awaiting trial.
Yeah, he's not allowed to leave the country or anything. Of course, if there was a country that I would want to be stuck in, Japan's pretty high up there. Well,
yeah, but you have to go way out of the populated areas to get to the stuff you'd want to see.
Not really. I mean, they got a lot of cool stuff there, and you don't have to worry about
Yeah, but the actual car culture is not in.
Well, I mean, there's more than
cities.
car culture in Japan.
Yeah, there's
but
depression and lack of baby making and a bunch of other stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, and they also have the Akigara suicide forest too, which is there.
God.
But they, but what I'm saying is compared to say Thailand, where you're not only gonna get mugged, you're also gonna get malaria.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything's gonna go poorly for you. If you're stuck in Japan, you're pretty solid. It's an interesting place. It's got a really cool culture, and you don't have to worry about getting malaria, which is great.
Look at the bright side. That's
the bright
great.
side.
That's so nice. I don't have to worry about getting malaria.
Yeah, and if you want, Japan's climates range from Minnesota, white climate in Hokkaido, or in the Ryukyu Islands. It's like Hawaii.
Great.
Where it's all fun and tropical.
Which is actually pretty impressive for a country that small.
Yeah, so you have everything you want in one country. Why would you? It's perfect.
The all-wheel drive turbo kit cars. I know where those are.
Exactly. It's perfect. It's a great country. So anyone, if there's a country to be stuck in, that's
fair
it.
enough. I would still probably prefer to be stuck somewhere else, but that's just me.
Where?
It wouldn't be Germany, I can tell you that.
Yeah, Germany would be terrible.
I mean, the Nürburgring would be great if
Italy
it's not
would
the
be
winter.
decent.
Yeah, I haven't been there for a long time, but Italy'd
think,
probably be fine.
And then, because you also have to balance the fact that,
where would I like to get stuck?
you want to be in a first world country because you don't want to get malaria.
Yeah.
You don't want to get polio. So most of Africa, most of Central Asia's out. You don't have to be somewhere that's just perpetually too dry. So Kyrgyzstan is out. Surprisingly cool country is Kyrgyzstan.
I think I would probably do, honestly, the UK. Because
It's all rainy and drippy.
I don't care. There's a lot of cars there that are still around and really cheap that I could part out and send all the parts back to the United States.
It doesn't much matter that you're doing that because you're awaiting trial.
Yeah,
So-
but you got to have some way to pass the time.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Isn't Japan
Part
you
out
get
cars.
I guess, but I mean, what's the money gonna give you?
Oh,
Your
satisfaction.
your assets will be seized.
Satisfaction.
I mean, I guess.
Like Benny Benassi.
Yeah, maybe China, but it's too big.
Fine, Minnesota, Twin Cities.
No, I don't want to be here.
Ah, it's great.
Japan. All right.
Fine.
Anyway.
I want to talk about our auto show.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Minneapolis International Auto Show.
Things with the auto show.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember back in the 90s when it was still run by the OEMs and not by a group of dealerships?
Yep.
Yeah, it was a lot better.
It was. But I have to say, although it's been tremendously disappointing the last 5 or so years that I've gone, this year wasn't that bad.
Okay.
They actually, I mean, I went for the first time ever, I think, to actually potentially look at a couple of vehicles that mainly just one that I bought and then wasn't allowed to buy, basically. But they had a Fiat 124 Spider, a Classica, whatever, base one, but you could sit in it. Mm-hmm. They had a Lusso up on a stand with a lady sitting next to it that I couldn't get into. I'm like, okay, great.
The lady or the car?
Either, really. She was very attractive. But I finally sat in this car, which is great. I still intend on getting one as soon as I can. But that was the first time I'd ever been in a Fiat 124, which was rad. MNCEC, I wasn't aware that they were in the main exhibition space.
Yes, sir.
So I said hi to Balto because he was there.
That's good.
What else? Scott and I test drove a Nissan Leaf.
Cool.
Just for giggles, a new one. I was curious how that worked. It's fine. Like Scott was mentioning, there's a lot of cost cutting in that car. With the interior and the non-thermally managed batteries, but it was pretty punchy. The range seemed pretty good.
It's like 215 miles or something.
Not with the 40 kilowatt hour one that's out right now. They are coming out soon with an extended range one that is like that. I think they're 150 miles.
I was looking into Leafs this week because I had a customer who's thinking about getting an e-Golf.
E-Golfs are great as long as you get a 2017 or newer.
Yeah, and she's gonna use one, so I'm like, I would get a Leaf because like. Those are depreciated so much. Well, like your value for money is...
They still have the full tax credit, so if you get a base new 40 kilowatt hour Leaf, you can do 150 miles EV, and it's $23,000.
That's good value.
Yeah. So I mean, I get why it's there. I appreciate that it's there. The new one actually doesn't look that bad.
No, the old one. That's what I told her. I said, well, if you want to spend a lot of money and get a new one, get a new one. Or if you don't care how it looks, get the old one.
I mean, you can get a first gen one with a battery that's okay for like $6,000, probably less. Or get a 500e.
They've just made so many Leafs.
Yeah.
And leaves.
It's like a coniferous forest in here.
Yeah. There's so many leaves out there, and they just appreciate so bad because they just flood
all
the
short
market.
Range EVs do.
Yeah, and they just flood the market with them.
Yeah.
And so they're like, you can get like a really awesome like first gen Leaf for like $8,000. And they sell
probably less.
They sell immediately.
Yeah.
Like when they go to a dealership, like we had 3 of them when I worked at Maury's, and each one was gone within 24 hours. Well, and that's not even hitting the lot, but coming in on trade.
Still a great car.
Yeah, they are, and it's one of those things. That's the only car where I've seen a car come in on trade on a Saturday, immediately get rushed to one of the technicians to get inspected, passed inspection immediately because everything was good. Went on the lot on the end of the day Saturday and had a deposit same day. They took the car in on trade and had a deposit on it before they even had a chance to detail it.
I feel like most of the time when I shop for a car, whether it's from me or somebody that I'm shopping for,
that's what happens.
I find the car before it's like ready.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it hasn't been through detail. We just took it in on trade. Like the tires are terrible and this and that. I'm like, I don't care. I want it.
Yeah.
Let me drive it now. I want to see how crappy it is before you fix it.
But
anyway, yeah, there was those things. Like I said, it was great to see CEC. I really don't like the fact that, like you're saying, it's run by the dealerships right now because like all the Mercedes that Scott and I wanted to get into were locked. And they had Sears imported dealer plates on them. Like so many locked cars at the auto show. Like,
why are you locking a car at the
Who
auto
cares?
show?
I don't know. The Electricum was kind of a letdown. They did have a non-full spec I-Pace, which was great to see. Because so far all the launch edition ones have been full option.
I think I saw an I-Pace on the road the other day.
Could be. I think
what color was that one that you saw?
The base one or the really fancy one?
Both of them.
Orange for the fancy one. There's a black one at the dealership for test drive, and then there's a silver one.
I saw the black one. That car, I get why you like it now.
Yeah, it's way better proportioned than you see in pictures.
No, it looks much better in person.
If you lowered it, it would just be a wagon.
To be fair, 20 minutes prior, no, 5 minutes prior, I saw an eclipse cross.
Oh, I also saw one of those. It was so bad.
Oh God, how depressing was the Mitsubishi display? Because it's
pretty
always
depressing.
It's like next to a dumpster in the toilet. And like,
It was right by the test drives for the Leaf, so
Yep.
and the GTI test drive that nobody was doing.
which one?
GTI.
Yeah, nobody wants a GTI.
Right.
That sucks.
Well, pretty much, yeah, 2.0 TSI. Now the Mitsu stand, I mean, they had a fair bit of product. We looked at the hatch Mirage just
I
out of
love the hatch
principle.
Mirage.
One of the few manual cars there. The sedan Mirage on the corner. Oh,
You know,
goodness.
it's not a good car. I would take a hatch over a sedan.
Yeah.
I don't hate the sedan as much as I should. I really don't.
It's just, I mean, when you're in it, it's okay. But like on the outside, boy, that's not a good proportioned vehicle.
No, not at all. But I actually think that its terrible proportions are almost endearing.
Okay, elaborate. Why?
All right, so I have this like thing where it's like you know I don't like meh cars. I like cars that are either terrible or they're great. But like I think a car is so terribly proportioned, it's kind of cute, like a pug.
And you mean like the dog that people have kept from like natural selecting themselves out of existence because
Yeah.
they can't breathe properly and everything?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
very very
jeez.
cute creatures, and I think that the Mirage sedan, like my whole thing is, when I see a car, my difference between if I like a car or don't like a car is doesn't bring a smile to my face, and when I see a Mirage sedan, it brings a smile to my face, which is weird because when I see a Versa sedan, which is the exact same thing, but by
Tragic.
Nissan, I don't smile.
They're both tragic.
I wince, but. No, the Mirage hatch I would take any day over a sedan. Because whenever I see a sedan, I smile. I go, too bad it's not a hatch. But, I mean...
They're the G4, whatever they call it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I say that with most things that aren't a Mirage. I go, yeah, it could be a Mirage.
Anyway, we did see an Eclipse Cross. We did not approach it. The BMW stand is just full of depression. The new automatic 3 Series, the
Gross.
gigantic, disgusting 8 Series, which has a
Gross.
trunk the size of a Fiat 500C with the back seats up. I shit you not.
awful.
The trunk is tiny. They had an i8 Spider, though, which was cool.
That's cool.
It was the first time I'd seen one of those. I had an automatic M3, which nobody cares about. They had an X7, which nobody cares about. Boy, that thing was difficult to look at.
Oh, is that the one with kidney cancer?
Oh, it's the worst one, too.
Oh,
The
jeez.
X7, yeah. Cadillac, nothing to see here. Audi was skipped entirely. What else was? Oh, wait, we went to the electric room. I was talking on that briefly. Like I said, it was really nice to see an I-Pace that was actually in like regular spec.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of cool. And then they had an e-tron, which nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares
So,
about that.
honestly, free parking for EV owners. That was kind of neat.
Ah!
And free admission had we cared, but I got free admission from Blubsky failing to get into the project car section.
There you go.
So.
That's awesome.
But better
I like
this
that
year
they have a
than
project car
years past.
section. I like that they're grasping at straws. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Did they have any Broncos?
I did not go to Ford.
I'm really curious about that because I've been collecting black leather gloves all winter for the Broncos. So I really want to. My whole thing is like I've like been practicing my toss, so I can walk past one with the open trunk and just go whoop, and then just like toss it like overhand and just like it'll just end up in the back.
I feel like it's gonna be like a $1 option for the Bronco, like black isotoner gloves.
That'd be awesome. I really hope that they do that.
You know how there was Eddie Bauer Ford Explorers in the '90s?
there's
There's
the
gonna be
O.J.
a
Simpson.
Bronco isotoner.
They really should. Like, I really think that they should play up to that because that'd be really funny. Like, well, not only
Enough
that.
time has passed where it is funny.
Yeah,
so.
it's in 25 years, so like you can make these jokes.
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh, it has now. 1994.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's been 25 years. You can do that. But I mean, the thing is when a car can make fun of itself.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate that. You know, you've met Awesome with Countach, which is faster than
I have.
which is faster than a Testarossa, mind you. Awesome once said,
Oh, your reaction to that Grand Tour clip.
I loved that. That is the greatest piece of film I've ever seen in my life. But Awesome once said, the most important thing about a car is its sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Too many cars and too many people these days take themselves too seriously.
Look at the 1M.
Exactly. Yeah, I want a car with a sense of humor. And that's exactly what the 1M is. And I love cars like that. And that's why I prefer the Countach over...
Oi, want to go do a skid?
Yeah.
Let's go do a skid.
That's why I love the Countach over, say, like, no offense, the Murcielago. Because
fine.
The Murcielago, it takes itself seriously.
And it's a better car.
It is.
But it's worse because it's better. That's
exactly.
Like the Clarkson thing, yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Is
There's
like,
a reason why we don't have a Countach, and it's because it's like 3 times as much money.
Exactly, because that car is just the best car and the favorite car are 2 different things.
Right.
I don't want the best car. I want my favorite car.
Right.
Because the best car is that can bring
dude.
me a smile.
I've bought stuff that's not great just because I like it.
Like, a McLaren P1 does not bring a smile to my face.
Which one is that again? Just a McLaren?
It's the fast McLaren.
Oh, okay. Does it look any different than the other
I
McLarens?
don't know what they look like.
Okay, cool.
It doesn't bring a smile to my face. But a Countach brings a smile to my face.
Well, yeah,
A Spiker C8 La Violette brings a smile to my face, which is another objectively terrible supercar.
Yeah, but it's so pretty.
Yeah, it's very pretty. But that's the thing that's most important, is the car brings a smile on my face. And I feel like if Ford with the Bronco, came up with some, humorous things about the car, it's little quips, like the new Honda Civic. On the backside of the little pieces of plastic that are the rubber mats in the center console, they have little drawings on the backside.
Do I even want to know?
No, they're like about Honda history and stuff, but it's still like I like little things like that, and like just things where it rewards you for digging a little bit deeper.
Okay.
So I think if they called the white on the Bronco like juice white or something, or like maybe they made like a horrible mustard yellow and they called it Malaise brown, or they did like they did one that's like white with blue stripes and they called it the Ghia or something, and they like looked like the Ford Mustang 2 Ghia or something. Like if they did little things like that, that would go way further to get me interested in the brand. I think that's another thing that's really important that Ford is really fucking up is they don't get you interested. They make a widget, and
well, they used to kind of. I mean, they were so close with the ST line and
that they make in Europe.
GT350.
I know. But that's the thing is you need to have a car that is interesting because, yeah, you can have the best thing in the world. You can have the most desirable car, but if you aren't interested, they're not going to pay attention to you.
Correct.
That's why the Mirage doesn't sell.
Well, that and gas is cheap and people are idiots.
Yeah, but
that's why the Fiat 500 doesn't sell.
I've had several people at work that have been looking for a small city car. I mentioned the Mirage and how tiny it was, and we're very happy about it.
Any chance you found the VIN number? Is a text I just got. You can know how my reply went to that.
Did you give him the part number for the VIN plate?
No, but I might look that up real quick for the.
I would.
The X164 Mercedes GL.
Yeah, I absolutely would give him the part number for the little VIN plate on the dashboard, because that's what a VIN number is.
Oh, God! Now my insides hurt.
Anyway.
Yep, that's enough of the auto show.
Speaking of dealerships, Westside Volkswagen.
Okay.
In early June every year, they do a classic Volkswagen show.
Okay.
The cool Volkswagens, of course.
Whatever.
Air-cooled and up to Mark II. That's the cool Volkswagens. Anyway.
The reliable Volkswagens.
They're relatively cool.
Okay.
I like the second generation Scirocco. I would never own one because I know better, but I like them.
There are very few Volkswagens I like.
Yeah, it's a second gen.
I like the Corrado G60.
I don't like that.
That's a good looking car.
I like the Scirocco, the second gen Scirocco. I like I think it's the Type 58, Carmen Ghia, the one with the two.
Mark 1 GTI 16 valve.
The 411.
What is that again?
The Type 4. Oh, look it up. They're very cool. That cool.
I'm so lazy. This keyboard sucks so hard.
Oh, okay. The Brasilia, which is the Beetle-based sports car from the 70s that made in Brazil. That's cool.
Oh, the Cayman GT4.
Which one's that?
Cayman GT4. It's the manual only Cockster.
That's a Porsche. Not...
Yeah.
Oh, I guess, all right. Well, if we're going to bring in Porsche, an E356.
Well, yeah, they're all Volkswagens.
The 914 is an objectively cool Volkswagen.
Yeah, that is really, especially a 6.
Yeah, so anyway, they made a few cool cars. Anyway, so at Westside Volkswagen, they're going to have Bug-In, which is...
Wow.
I know, right?
Wow.
It's actually...
That's
I'm not
difficult for me to hear.
I'm not going to lie. It's one of the... If you can actually make it out to those shows, you don't regret it. Like,
I'm sure it's a great show, but the name is just
know.
like dad pun cringe.
Oh, yeah. It's hilarious. They're going to have Bruce Myers there.
Nice. Very
of
cool.
Myers
Myers
Manx.
Manx.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he is actually like 94 years old. And like
My Uncle Blake built one right back when they came out.
Well, Bruce Myers is like 94 years old and like on his deathbed.
And he's coming out.
He's coming out. This will likely be the last autograph signing he does in his life.
We should definitely go to that.
I'm absolutely.
We should have him sign Scott's Beetle.
Scott has a Beetle?
Yeah. 996.2.
Oh, yes, he does have his Beetle. Yes. Yeah, we should. That'd be hilarious. No, I absolutely will be heading out there and getting a couple of things signed. I mean,
Well, if you see the event published anywhere, hit the electronic button to notify me of it so I can.
It's run by very old men in a dealership. It is June 2nd, starts at 8 a.m. and it wraps up by 2. So 8 a.m. to effectively noon. Then it's nap time for everybody that's over 75.
Yeah. They're going to start out the Country Kitchen Buffet to pregame, I'm guessing.
You will. What I like about that is it's a lot of the weird old air-cooled stuff. Mm-hmm. And it kind of gives you appreciation for Volkswagen because you see it's not just like a bunch of Type 2s and Beetles. I mean, albeit there's a bunch of Type 2s and Beetles. Mm-hmm. But you see a lot of the other cool stuff. The 411 I mentioned, some of the weirder Carmen Gias because there's 2 Carmen Gias. Carmen Gias as a whole.
They're pretty.
They are very pretty cars. Absolutely terrible if you get any sort of body damage whatsoever because that's one piece of metal. The entire body is one piece. And it's a monocoque.
I think the Elise clamshell's bad. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, lots and lots of cool stuff. So, it's June 2nd, 8 to 2. Bring some Volkswagen goodies to get signed by Bruce Myers. And if you're not there, you are...
A square.
Actually,
you're
you're
a rectangle.
You are going to be really pissed because Bruce Myers will probably die before he comes back. So.
Yep, definitely. I'll have to see if I still have some like parts from my Mark V GTI or something kicking around.
I've got plenty of stuff. I can let you have something. So, if not, I can find some. I think I've got like a old picked 2 carburetor at work.
I'm just gonna go out to Highway 5 and just park my car on the shoulder and walk for like 20 feet. I'll find a bunch of Volkswagen parts just sitting there.
Yeah, well, I got an old like. Picked one carburetor that's just all like disgusting, so we could have him sign that at work.
I was thinking like bits of TSI block on the side of the road or something. But okay, whatever.
Here's a cam here's the cam follower for my fuel pump.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Big
FSI fuel pump, cool.
Oh, I did get work that actually got lucky. He had a FSI that had 1 quart of oil in it, had been driving on it. He was 3,000 miles overdue for his oil change. Had horrible timing chain noise. We put oil in it, and everything was okay. And the cam follower was all right. I told him to go get a lottery ticket. He won the lottery right there.
And the balance shaft didn't seize?
No, like, he drove that engine like you drive a 5 SFE. A Camry engine.
Balls out.
Just... balls out with no oil in it, and you're fine.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that guy got lucky. Anyway,
I would say so. That's... wow. Okay.
Let's move on to our final topic here.
Sounds good. Okay, so in that Grand Tour episode last week, where they did your favorite piece of videography ever, which was the Testarossa versus the Countach.
They actually got something wrong on that. They said that Enzo Ferrari told Michael Mann from Miami Vice to get rid of the C3 Corvette Ferrari Daytona thing. Mm-hmm. It was actually not Enzo. It was the dealer that did that. In Miami-Dade
and the photo they showed in the episode was the dealer guy. It was not Enzo Ferrari.
So, however, this is the thing. I thought about that. I think I did hear a rumor that Enzo Ferrari had seen an episode with that horrible car.
Okay.
And he was really confused what was going on. And so he asked a bunch of his aides. And one of his aides called the dealer and said, why don't they have one of our cars? And I think that's how it came. But Enzo Ferrari did not personally tell anybody.
I got you.
But I have heard rumors that it was Enzo that directed the dealer to give them a car.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. So anyway, at the end of that episode, they were tallying up points from a challenge they did. And I won't spoil the episode for you. But in this challenge, James May drives a Yaris GR MN. Very cool car. And... he did an unboxing video like he does for so many products.
Haven't you seen that?
The GR MN. Yes.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Of course I have.
He does it on James May's Unemployment Tube, too.
Yeah. So he does it on his own YouTube channel. And he had a full-scale cardboard box made that looks like a real product box. Like, when I first saw this, I had no context. I figured this was actually how these were sold.
I would really hope that they did.
But anyway, it's great. Like, he's got product information on the outside of it. It's got the right fonts. He's got the kind of pencil-drawn outline of the features of a Yaris. It's just super, super cool. So I have it playing right now.
I got about 3 minutes into this, and I refused to finish it because I felt myself getting, like, physically angry.
That this wasn't real?
Do you know how badly I want that car?
The GR MN, which we don't get here.
Like,
it's a supercharged, manual-only Toyota hatchback.
I know! All right, so I wrote the 2 articles that Japanese Nostalgic Car wrote about it. And the first one was, cool, they're making a Yaris GR MN. Here's why it should be sold in America. And then the follow-up to that was, Toyota, you fucked up! And it was just like me being just like, it was. I've never been so mad while writing an article. I think I actually like broke the keyboard at Maury's when I wrote that.
I particularly liked the, I think it was like 4 episodes ago now, but when you had the Volkswagen rant at the end of the episode. It's one of my favorite episode endings ever.
That was like,
I picture the article going similarly.
Yeah, it was actually. It was. I've never had a more spirited article I've ever written. And
so I want to show him pulling the giant cardboard peel
that
tab.
Part.
James May has a terrific sense of humor, even though you would never ever guess it.
James May has the same sense of humor as me. Like, it's the exact same thing.
So yeah, there's the car inside of the box. And then I do want to show the interior when he gets to it. There. So he's going to unlock it. The key is in a box.
So, all right, this is. I'm gonna read the first few lines of each of these.
Please
Great.
do.
This is when they revealed that the GR MN was in the works. Put cardboard over all that. So when Toyota revealed that the Yaris GR MN was in the works, I wrote, "Great news, everyone! Toyota's confirmed all of your hot hatch dreams, officially named the Yaris GR MN, which is as cumbersome a name as chosen personally by Chewbacca." And then the follow-up, let's see, it's just up here a little bit. I wrote the entire article being very excited for the car. I wrote, with its debut at the Geneva Motor Show this week, we finally have news of the hopped-up Yaris GR MN. And great news, it's going to be the full package that everyone was hoping for. Potentially the most exciting hot hatch to wear the Toyota name since the Starlet. If you thought the car was going to fight the Fiesta ST, you'd be wrong. It's going to be more radical than the Fiesta ST. Toyota says that output numbers are over 210 horsepower, with some outlets claiming even 220 horsepower. As expected, the power plant of choice is still the 1.8-liter supercharged 4-cylinder, so it looks to be rumors from last month are accurate. It would be all for naught, though, if it was paired to an open differential or, God forbid, a CVT. Luckily, that's not the case. A 6-speed manual transmission will
It's the only option.
Yes. A 6-speed manual transmission. This is also word for word what I wrote. I'm reading the entire article.
Okay.
A 6-speed manual transmission will send power to a torsion limited slip differential, distributing it to 17-inch BBS wheels wrapped in Bridgestone Potenzas. Combine that all with a chassis that will be sure to be lighter than a 1.5-liter Yaris, and expected 0-60 times will be close to 6 seconds, with a flat-out top speed north of 140. To accompany all that go-fast fun, a set of brake source from the much heavier Yaris Hybrid will be handling stopping, and turning will be handled by a Nürburgring tuned suspension, which is actually true. They used Yaris Hybrid brakes. Which is kind of cool.
That is interesting. I mean, like the 500e has the biggest Fiat 500 brakes.
I love that they parts been engineered the brakes.
Of course.
That's my favorite part. If you don't want computers to spoil the fun, an already relaxed traction control system can be turned off completely. Finally, for handling, the fancy aerodynamics of the car are functional, providing stability at high speeds to supplement the stiff rear end and keep it planted. It honestly sounds like everything we were hoping for and possibly the perfect hot hatch. Just honest, go fast fun, no fancy gizmos like all-wheel drive or active spoilers. There is one small problem. We don't get it here. Nope, not coming to America. While it's mostly due to the 1,000 unit total run, there are other reasons. Only 20% of Americans
They're
can
only
drive.
making 1,000 of those things? Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Only 20% of Americans can drive a manual. The vast majority of our roads are straight lines, so we prefer soft ride over handling. Americans like large cars, and our cafe standards stifle a lot of performance cars, which is true. That being said, there is a market for this type of vehicle, and I go into why there's a market. Actually, I'm just going to read that part because it's actually kind of interesting. Why there's a market.
I'm just going to let this keep playing while you do that then.
Because I write like James May would write anyway. So.
And he's talking over you, so it'll be great.
Is he really?
Yeah. There's desktop audio in this stream. We just can't hear it.
Is it actually playing? So this whole thing I've been doing is nothing.
No, it is. But,
okay.
I mean, you're hearing both.
Oh, that's be awful.
You talk a lot louder than James May.
Well, anyway. Basically, the long story short, I'm going to just sum up the last three paragraphs here. That the Fiesta ST made the Fiesta actually the best-selling of the small hot hatches in America.
Okay.
The Fiat 500 actually brought people into Fiat dealerships. The Abarth did, when otherwise they wouldn't have. And I compared that to the Daihatsu Charade, where Daihatsu had nothing important, and they just launched in America, and nobody cared. And then that the Yaris GR MN would round out the Toyota performance enthusiast base when we also have the Supra and the GT86 and all the V8 Lexus bits and bobs.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, the GR MN should come to America. It would fit in perfectly with the ST that we had at the time, the Barth that we had at the time. And it would be it's a better product, so it's just a better car. So it's frustrating that they don't give that to us, and that's why I don't want to watch this episode.
No, too bad.
It's very frustrating.
Very frustrating.
So
We don't get any of the good shit.
I will say, but actually one of my other favorite things is it's got stupid 18-inch wheels on it,
Mm-hmm.
and they're actually being utilized because those front brakes necessitate 18-inch wheels.
But they're Yaris hybrid brakes. The hybrid doesn't have 18-inch wheels. Those would definitely fit under smaller wheels.
A 17.
Yeah.
But still.
We don't get the Yaris hybrid here, so I don't know what the standard wheels look like on those.
As opposed to like Volkswagens with 18-inch wheels, and then like the brake discs are like buried behind like the wheel hub.
Right.
They're like that small. Like Mark IV Jetta rear brakes, where you had 4 inches of empty space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I actually like the Yaris hybrid. It's really like, honestly, if I was going to design a modern car, this is it. That's everything I've wanted in the world. It's the perfect vehicle. And the only way that this would be better is if it was a 3-cylinder and in a Mirage.
No, Ryan. No.
I want something that is as small as possible and as potent as possible. Like, that's what I want. I want the smallest possible fast car I could get.
Yeah, but because the 4-cylinder isn't worse.
No, it's not. No, the 4-cylinder is better, but...
And on that note, shall you get the bagpipes?
I think I shall.
Sounds good. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We will get back at you later this week.